Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I am awash in the purple glow of the purple rope lights here at WNST, which means it's time to bring yet another Ravens alum back onto the program. We don't have to go very far to find this guy. I mean, I travel around town. I run into this guy at all sorts of places around town. Trevor Pryce spent the end of his career here, or toward the end of his career, for 5 minutes at the Jets, but spent some years here in 06, 7, 8, 9, and it's great that you've settled here. You've made a home and a life here, Trevor Pryce, and that's good because we're going to win a Super Bowl here in a couple weeks, aren't we?
I think so. I mean, why not, right?
This Lamar thing's been unbelievable. I mean, you being a football player and maybe how much people talked to you about it 3 months ago versus now, Lamar has become the Michael Jordan of the sport at this point. All eyes are on him in number 8. This is something new for Baltimore to have a star of this magnitude sort of shining the way he has over the last 12 weeks.
I think it's new for the NFL, I think. Which is weird to say because you have the Tom Brady's of the world, but I think John Harbaugh was right. Like you're changing things, and my family has a fantasy football draft, right? So when the season started, we're all getting ready to make our picks, and my oldest daughter Kari picked Lamar Jackson in like the second round, and we laughed. Everybody just was like, "What? Why would you?"
How old is she? How old is she?
She's 20. She's going to be 21.
So she like passed on Aaron Rodgers or like passed on obvious people, right?
She passed on all of them, and she picked Lamar Jackson, and she named her fantasy team Lamar Jackson is my QB. And I was like, what is going on? And then he started averaging 40 points a game. And then you go, oh, okay.
Is she up in your face? I mean, is she spiking the ball on you or no?
She made the semifinals, but she lost. But because he had one bad game. And then I think the game he didn't play, I think she was playing.
Well, I mean, when you rest him in Week 17, I hope you're not playing a Week 17 schedule.
Right. It was rough. So regardless of that, I think the thing that impresses me about the guy, and it kind of makes sense, you know what I mean? And I'm going to give you a confession here in a little bit.
All right.
The thing that impresses me the most is and it kind of makes it's not the football stuff, right? I think he has been this his entire life, so none of this is a surprise to him. You know what I mean? It's
well, haven't all of you been that way all your lives? I mean, you dominated guys.
Nobody's been like that all their lives. Nobody. I know of no football player that has been the best player in the field every time he steps on the field since the time he's been 7 years old. And I'm from Florida, where all the good football players are from, where he's from. But I think there's a humbleness to him that doesn't come from being humbled. It comes from, this is just what I am. It kind of seems like this is the burden I'm given, and I know what it is. So he understands that, and I think when your biggest star on your team, and who's becoming the biggest star in the league this year, has that kind of attitude, it makes everything easier for everybody.
Tell me what it's like when guys don't have that attitude and don't make it easier. I mean, you were in a grown-up place in Denver. You had a lot of grown-ups around you on both sides of the ball, starting with Elway early in your career, Shannon Sharp, TD, led by leaders of men. I mean, you fit into that mold there in championship form. But when you have Antonio Brown, I'm throwing him out as a name, or Torello, someone that wants to stand apart in a different way, not a Marshawn Lynch way, but in a different way. You know?
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard to deal with, and it makes. I think pro football is already so difficult from a day-to-day basis, and just the grind of it. The games are fun, of course, but the grind of it every day, in and out every day, the meetings and just Groundhog Day every Monday, Tuesday is the same. And when you have somebody that I think their personality is just what Antonio Brown's is, it's hard to corral that, and it's hard to deal with the grind and that. It's kind of like you have to pick a side in the fight. I'm either dealing with the grind or I'm either dealing with the people. And when you have to corral both those things, you don't want to be there on Wednesday, and you still have to deal with Antonio Brown and those kind of guys. That is hard to do. I've experienced it a few times. I experienced it here in the Ravens. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I mean that's my business, but it is tough. Now, the other side of that is when Sundays come, please throw the ball to Antonio Brown, and you have to deal with that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Lamar, it is the grind is easier, I think, in the building when you have him, and a guy that says, "I'm on a mission to learn the first name of everybody in this building." You have somebody who's thinking. He's not thinking. I can't even really explain. He's not thinking beyond football. He's just like, "This is what I am. None of this surprises me. None of this should surprise you." And I think that's what his attitude is. He kind of stands up there and he goes, "Oh," he kind of has a little bit of all shucks to him because he's like, "I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, man. Why are all of you shocked?" I mean, when a player that plays offense decides not to run the 40 in the combine or his personal workout, and he says, "I'm fast, watch the tape," then you know something is like, okay, yeah, this dude's on a different plane. So that's what I think about the guy. The football stuff, you can break that stuff down all you want to, but there's something else going on there, and it's not confidence. It's not a confidence. This is just what I am. You know what I mean? I don't know how high or low his confidence is, but I don't think it matters. I think this is just what I am, guys. I'm sorry. Like it or love it or leave or whatever you want to do, but this is just what I am.
Trevor Pryce can be found out on Twitter, Trevor_Pryce. And, of course, the join the Kolapari and pick your poison. You can find all that stuff out on Twitter. And you can find Trevor probably pumping gas or picking up groceries somewhere out in Southwest Baltimore because he's always around town. For the Lamar factor and what this has become, take me back 18 months ago to what you thought the night he was drafted. And, I mean, come on, man. You salivated at chasing a kid like this around and tackling him and all that for all the years you played in the league. Why is it that the running quarterback thing didn't work in your era, and why is it working now? I think part of the rules changes is you used to be able to smear that guy. You used to be able to take that guy's head off 20 years ago. You can't do that anymore. That certainly is a benefit, I think, for everybody in the league. But there's a part of this where this revolution that Harbaugh signed up for, that Eric and Ozzie signed up for, that Roman signed up for, and then they've put the players around him to let him do what he does. This has been a beautiful thing to witness, but there are 31 other teams that weren't willing to do this 18 months ago.
Funny, the whole Lamar should play a wide receiver thing. I was like, yeah, why not? And the reason why I thought that wasn't such a big deal had nothing to do with he can't play quarterback. The man can play quarterback. He threw for 4,000 yards in the ACC, and the ACC is not an SEC, but it's a close. The kids are from the same place, so there's a lot of good football players in that conference. But you win the Heisman, and you throw for that many yards, you can play quarterback in the NFL. My thinking was always, he's the fastest man in the field at all times. That's a fact. And nobody knows how fast he is. He's the most athletic and fastest man in the field at all times. And a quarterback's job is to get the ball to the faster person. So just Pee-wee football, why would I have the fast guy give it the ball to a guy slower than the fast guy? That doesn't make any sense to me, right? No, nobody knew they were going to pull out the 1920s wing T offense and make it work the way they have. But, Lamar Jackson Lamar Jackson versus four people is a touchdown. 80% of the time. And when you play wide receiver, that's what happens. You only have four people to deal with. Because you have the four DBs. And once you run 10, 15 yards, there's only four people between you and the goal line. And if you get the ball to them, it is a touchdown almost every time. So that's what I thought. The fact that he's playing quarterback is not that big a deal. You know what I mean? I was just thinking that he's the fastest man in the field. Now, what they've done last year, they weren't doing this. This is revolutionary to the point that it's almost simple. And you know how hard it is to beat an offense? You know how hard it is to beat a team? That anytime they want, they can get 5 yards. Anytime they feel like.
Well, Trev, the thing that shook me up.
Anytime they want 5, Lamar right, Lamar left. and there is nothing you can do about it. You know it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. It's impossible to deal with, and it's disheartening. I'm telling you, I've played against teams like that. It's terrible.
Well, I think the disheartening part for me began last year when you look up and they're in 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 3 every single time they've got the ball on every set of downs because, to your point, it feels like they can fall forward 5 yards, and if they're trying hard, they can get 7 or 8. When you're in 2nd and 2 all day long, that's got to kill a defense. I mean, and it's been going on for a year and a half now. And I watched these offenses, all 8 teams over the wild card weekend. It looked like they were playing in quicksand, and they're always in 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10. And I'm thinking, we don't even know what – I don't remember that since Joe Flacco was here and we were incomplete on first down, right?
Right. Yeah. It's hard to play defense when you're playing in 2nd and 2 because the whole playbook opens up. And the Ravens doing 2nd and 2, they're like, yeah, we're going to get this first down and give you another 2nd and 2. But their 2nd and 2 is 8 yards, and all of a sudden it's third and to you after they've run for 18 yards on 2 plays. A defense is in 3rd and plus 20. It is like, what is going on? Will somebody please tackle him? How? You can't catch him. You can't catch him. It is, and he is calm in the fire because the game, everybody's moving half to 10 steps slower than he is, depending on who that person is.
Trev, talk about the Ravens organization. Terrible. Yeah, I mean, in drafting him and sticking it out to do this, because more than anything, everybody I've talked to, most executives, most coaches wouldn't go to their owner and say, we're going to draft a quarterback and we're going to run him 15 or 20 times a game into guys that look like Trevor Pryce. No one had the stones to do that. There is a courage about the Ravens organization at this point to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback and to draft this kid and then build everything around him. Most organizations wouldn't do that because most executives wouldn't leverage the one chance they get to get a job on a revolution. They want something that's proven, right?
Right. From the few times I watched him in college, he wasn't doing this. When he ran the ball, it was not a called run. Louisville was not running the same offense the Ravens are. I believe this is an invention of the Ravens. And when you go to your owner and said, this kid won the Heisman and jumped over a DB's head from Florida State only recruits kids from Florida. So if you jump over a DB's head from Florida State, you can pretty much do anything you want, and you won the Heisman. That's the argument to the owner. We will figure it out. I mean, and then he threw for 3,300 yards, and I mean, he won the Heisman for a reason. You know what I mean? So that should not have been an argument. The argument probably would have been, hey, we're getting rid of Joe Flacco, and Steve Bisciotti's probably going to wait. Joe Flacco won the MVP of the Super Bowl and brought a Super Bowl to this town when this organization was kind of on its face a little bit. And John Harbaugh goes, yeah, we're done with that. We're doing something different. So it's a sense to me of what does your best player do well? And let's do that. Okay, well, the run-pass option is a thing. They've never done that before with Joe Flacco, right? The run-pass option is a thing. The 3 tight ends. I'm like, well, what kind of offense is this? It is out of the Bible. You know what I mean? So it is. It's something that I believe it was something that was developed because you don't know it's going to work because no one's ever done this. No one's ever put 3 tight ends on the field, a defensive lineman at fullback, and a quarterback that runs faster than everybody else in football. He runs so fast, he wouldn't run a 40. Think about that. Yeah, I'm fast. He said, I'm fast. Watch the tape. I mean, what kind of stones do you have to do that? Or are you just like, this is what I am, guys. You see it. I've been like this my entire life. None of this should surprise you.
Trevor_Pryce, the way to find him out on Twitter. And, of course, Luke hit me last week. He said, go find all the 2006 guys that lost to the Colts. I must say, I bought these rope lights back in 2006 and surrounded my whole house. And I was blubbering after we lost to the Colts game that you were a part of. And I guess we're 15 years later now in discussing the bye week and rust versus rest. Any concerns at all and flashbacks? Because you were on some pretty good football teams that had a bye. What that bye means and what it represents when you're out playing and Derrick Henry was running over the New England Patriots a couple nights ago.
No, I believe that the Ravens are going to beat the Titans by double digits. I mean, it's going to be more than 10. And there's a kind of scientific reason, I think, behind that. And it's the fact that Mike Vrabel, the ex-Patriots player, ex-Patriots coach, there's ex-Patriots players on the Titans. Like he said after the game, you have to be mentally and physically exhausted after the game to beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. The Titans are mentally and physically exhausted, even with somebody like Derrick Henry, who is my son's favorite player, because my son played 8th grade football for Madonna this year, and he is Derrick Henry. And I'm not kidding at all, right? But the fact is, now they have to recover and deal with an offense that kind of looks like theirs, right? And they're playing on Saturday, and that one less day makes a big difference. So the Titans are going to come in there completely, I think, depleted. They will show up, they will put on the uniforms, they will look good, but I think they're going to be a half a step slower because of what it took to beat the Patriots in New England and all the energy they spent doing that. Now, if this game was week 10 of the regular season, even week 10, now we have a slugfest. Now we have a fight. We have a mirror of two teams that look at each other and go, hey, we look alike. You know what I mean? Derrick Henry falls forward, 7 yards. Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram, 7 yards. The game is going to be 2 hours long. You know what I mean? But I believe the Titans have done themselves. They gave it everything. You know, when you give everything in week 19 or whatever it is, I mean, what's left? Honest to God, what's left? Now, on the flip side of that, again, Lamar Jackson, the calm in the storm, he's probably going, we'll be all right. And everybody goes, hey, Lamar says they're going to be all right, so we are going to be all right. That was the same thing I thought with John Elway when I was young. And I played with John Elway for 2 years. When he said, guys are going to be all right, you kind of believed him. So when Lamar says it, which he probably is saying in the locker room, we're going to be all right, they believe him. And if they believe you, they'll follow you. If you're out there barking just to be barking because you want to be the quote-unquote leader, they're not.
Trevor Pryce speaks some great wisdom. 14 seasons in the National Football League. Retire but never retire. What are you doing, man? You're always out doing stuff in the entertainment space. You're back and forth in New York. Every time I see you, you're around a bunch of tech nerds trying to get smarter like me. What's going on with your world, man?
I started an animation studio here in Maryland, a VFX studio. So that's why the tech nerds, and I got a bunch of them that work for me in my building, or one of my 2 buildings. So the tech nerds have strucken.
I want to come see what you do. What is a video animation studio? What does that mean? If I come over and say, Trev, show me around, what am I going to say?
So you know how they made Avengers?
Sure.
With like green screen and dots on the faces and performance capture?
That's it.
We do that, yeah.
So like sort of Disney stuff, right? I mean, you grew up in Orlando, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's film and TV. It's not rides. It's film. Yeah, we make movies and television shows, but we make them with visual effects. So, like for instance, Lion King. Our Lion King looked photoreal. We know how they did it, and we are doing it with Kalapari. The frogs look real. When they walk around, they talk, and they fight, and they look real.
Can I be one of the voices for one of the frogs one day if I ever get famous?
No, you cannot.
I want to be a frog.
Actually, you'd probably be great. You'd probably be really good at it.
I'd be a good frog. Yeah, I figure out how to ribbit and do all that cool stuff. All right, so you believe the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl? You believe that?
Yeah, because I believe the winner of this game is going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think any team left in the NFL. I don't think any team left in the playoffs can deal with either of these 2 teams. The winner of this game will win the Super Bowl, and I believe the Ravens are going to win this game because Kansas City can't beat Baltimore. Nobody in the NFC can beat them. Let's just forget that. So the winner of this game will win the Super Bowl.
Well, I hope to see you down in Miami in a couple weeks, Trevor Pryce. I love your confidence in all of this, man. Hey, good luck with Kulapari. And
no confidence.
Science. All right,
Science.
I like it. Football science. Trevor_Pryce, the way to find him and his frogs and the Kulapari. And if you see him out locally and a guy that looks like Trevor Pryce, yep, that's him. Say hello to him. Trev, love you, man. Appreciate you. I hope we get together in Miami. Are you alum enough that you will follow your daughter's got Lamar on the fantasy team. You got to take her to the Super Bowl, right?
She has a Lamar Jackson jersey. so my youngest daughter is going to University of Washington to play soccer, and my oldest one, the one that drafted Lamar, she goes to Cornell in Ithaca. So every year I buy football jerseys with their names on them. So I bought my oldest Kari a Buffalo Bills jersey because it's the closest football team to her, and I put her name on the back and I put number 1 on it. And then I bought my other daughter a Seahawks jersey with her name on it and her soccer number 22. And all they want to do is wear Lamar Jackson T-shirts. So I'm like, hey. That's my dad. Put it on me.
Well, I mean, they're Ravens fans, but I mean, you send your daughter out there to Seattle where it's like a hotbed of soccer, right? Like she's a soccer player, right?
Yeah, very much so. She's playing for University of Washington, so we are thrilled. We will be hanging out in the PNW.
You know, they said that when you left Clemson, it was going to fall apart. That didn't happen, did it?
No, when I left Clemson, that's funny. That's funny, man.
Well,
that's
I mean,
funny.
There's another national championship, sitting there, right?
Yeah, well, they have to deal with LSU and Coach Orgeron. Funny enough, my son is in 8th grade, and a school offered him a football scholarship. I'm not going to tell you which school, but they offered him a football scholarship. He's in 8th grade.
Is Dabo sneaking into town already? What's going on, man?
Yeah, things happen fast. Things happen fast when you're that big and you're that fast. Life comes at you fast, my man.
McDonough High next year is what you're telling me? He's going to be a freshman running everybody over?
I think so. I think he needs to get taller. I mean, he's 190 pounds, and he's the fastest kid in the field. So he looks funny.
Well, Dad's 6'6", so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Well, they won't turn him into a wide receiver, right? Don't let him do that.
That they won't do. That's not going to happen. Not with the size of his stomach. No.
Dad's getting involved. Hey, man, always good to see you. Happy New Year. Hope to see you down in Miami or at a Ravens game near you. And keep up the great work.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Trevor Pryce, one of my all-time favorites. Actually, I've always liked his wife more than I like him because she's a smarter one in the family, but don't tell him that. But I love Trev. Always good to see Trev around town. And a Clemson guy, a Ravens guy, a Broncos guy, and a Baltimorean now by choice. He chooses to live here, so that's what I love about the alums. So I've been chasing alums around. We've had Justin Forsett this week. If you missed last week, my goodness, we had as many alums as I've ever had on the air in any one week. Tony Saragusa, Brandon Stokely, Kim Herring, Dwan Edwards. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm still chasing Stoney Case around. We're going to have him around. I've been chasing Kyle Bowler around. We'll get all these guys on before we get to Miami. And I hope to take you to Miami. If you want to join us, Nasty at WNST.net is the best way to do that. We will get you all the information out on how you can join us for hotels, transportation, game tickets, all that stuff. We got to win 2 football games. I hope to see you down at the bank this week. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. I'll be banging around Florida looking for party locations. And, of course, we have Sam Cooke at a Greenmount Station on Tuesday night as well as we prepare the Purple Lights of Festivus for the rest of us. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports with Baltimore Stars.